Now isn't this a fantastic display of annual baskets and troughs? But the tricky bit of having anything like this in your garden is that you've got to keep it watered. If you let it slip for just a day, this entire lot could shrivel up. But these days, a lot of people are starting to install automatic irrigation systems, and today we're going to have a look at how they work. So the drippers that you find on the end of each pipe of the irrigation system let out just the right amount of water to keep the plant alive without wasting any, which is fantastic for the environment. So that's how a microbore irrigation system works, and it's all available at lovegardening.com. What we're going to look at today is how we've installed an irrigation system at this property. It's called a microbore system, and it's fantastic for troughs, baskets and planters. I'll show you how the system works. This system's in the garage. What we've got here is a standard tap, and then to the tap we've fit a double manifold. What that allows you to do is from this outlet run a hose pipe as normal, and then from this outlet we've linked in a simple timer. From the timer we've run a single manifold that goes all the way up the garage wall to the top to a 3-point T, where it splits off to feed the greenhouse, the planters and the baskets on the garage, and across to the house to feed the baskets there as well. So one thing we needed to do was work out how to get the feed of water from the garage to the house. And what we've done is we've installed this simple wooden arch and mounted the pipe to it. It looks much more attractive than just the pipe hanging down, and it will also allow us to grow a nice climbing rose up there in time, which will enhance the property even more. So the installation of your microbore watering system is really quite simple. Once you've got your timer on the tap, you then need to feed this 16mm feeder pipe around the property, just going in the direction of all the baskets and tubs and planters that you want to water. So this fits onto the timer at one end, and then off you go. If there are any corners you need to go around, you can use one of these, which is a 90-degree bend. If you actually try and bend the pipe, it quite often kinks like that. So this eliminates that problem. And all you need to do is just simply push that into the pipe. It's going in quite easily today because it's a nice warm day. But if it's a cold day and the pipe's a little bit firmer, it's quite handy to have a pot of hot water with you. You just dunk the end of the pipe in, it makes it go nice and soft, and your bends and joints just slot in really easily. So what we try and do is we try and hide this feeder pipe wherever possible. So we'll tuck it under a gutter, and then you only need to see the microbore pipe, which actually feeds the baskets and troughs. So once you've got your feed pipe installed around the property, the next thing you do is you link your microbore pipe into that system, and that feeds your actual baskets and tubs and planters. So the microbore is called microbore because it is such a small pipe, and you don't even notice it when it's on the side of the house running to the baskets and troughs. And the thing that actually waters the troughs and baskets is a dripper, and on the dripper is just a little connector that you pop off, and you put the dripper to one side for now. And that connector slots very nicely and very easily into the end of the microbore pipe like that. Now, just like with the feed pipe, if it's a cold day and the pipe's gone a bit stiff, just a bit of hot water, dunk it in, and all of a sudden it's lovely and soft and everything fits together beautifully. The hole punch is really simple to use. You just simply push it against the side of your feeder pipe, put a bit of weight behind it, and pop. You've got a hole in your feed pipe. Now that's obviously going to leak. So that's where you put your connector on the end of your microbore into the hole, stop the leak, and instead divert that water down the microbore pipe to the end where you've got your basket. And on that end you just simply put your dripper, and again just slot that in, bit of warm water if it's stiff, and there you go. And that's got a spike on it, so it's really easy just to slot it into the compost in your planter or your trough, and then you can just turn the top, and that actually regulates the flow of water into your basket to make sure you can control whether it gets overwatered, underwatered or watered perfectly, and that's what we're all about. So once you've got your system installed, all you need is a little bit of kit like this, and it'll allow you to actually forget about the watering of your baskets, tubs and troughs, and just go out and enjoy a barbecue instead. It's a very simple timer. Open up the front to see the controls. So here we go, we opened up the front and you can see it's got three functions. It's got function number one, see the number one there. And the time it comes on, I've got it set for coming on in the morning. And that's when it goes off, just 5 minutes later. That's all you need to water everything in the morning. And then function number 2, you see there's a 2 there, that's coming on later in the day. Off 5 minutes later, job's done. And then finally, you've got the manual function. It's set for 15 minutes, and to turn that on, you just open the valve and it'll water it for 15 minutes, and then it'll turn off just in case you've forgotten. But if you let it water for a few minutes and you think the job's done, just simply close the valve. Happy days. So there you have it, irrigation system installed, and it was quite simple. In fact, so simple you could do the same at home and save yourself a lot of time watering. If there are any hints, tips or any advice that you would like from myself or the guys at lovegardening.com, please do not hesitate to get in touch with our media team.